And good afternoon and welcome to another session of Jusatoon and an Aurora. Today what I thought I'd do is, yes, I am going to make you watch through the train ride to the space station and call out the ship, but the reason we're going to do that first is because I actually thought I'd actually show you a bit about ArcCorp. Now ArcCorp is your basically Coruscant planet. We only really have the one landing zone at the moment, but what Coruscant, what ArcCorp has is probably one of the better ship weapon sites in game, or shops in game. So we're going to skip Kasaba and Kobe Blast. They're your standard shops. You do find that Kasaba does often sell different clothing styles, or slightly different clothing styles, or even different colours of clothes at the various shops, but I'm not interested in those at the moment. That is something for you to explore on your own. But what I do want to do is show you where the ship weapons shop room is, and that is in the main square over here. Now you remember this from yesterday, where we were in. We saw the Trade Development Center division. We've got the ArcCorp Transit hub. We've also got other ways to get to different areas in the ArcCorp as well, but the one I'm interested in is the weapons shop, the ship weapons shop, and that is actually, if I remember correctly, in the ArcCorp building. So we saw where the Million Mile High Club was, but in here we also should have, up one of the lifts, access to Center Blast. No, not Center Blast. I can't remember the name of the shop. But it is up the stairs. I'm going to run up these stairs because it takes a bit of time, and it should be when I see it here. Center Mass is the name of the shop we want, and we can see it's on this side on lift A. So we'll take lift A here. We'll go up to the floor where Center Mass is. And my experience with Center Mass is it tends to have all the things you actually want when you're trying to look for weapons or upgrade things on your ships. And that is probably the biggest bonus that ArcCorp offers. I personally prefer Center Mass than rather going to 3 or 4 different shops to find the weapons I need. There is a Center Mass on Microtech, but my feeling is that it doesn't seem to offer the same things that Center Mass in ArcCorp offers. And so that, you've got different weapons on display, but the best place to find your weapons is to always go to the terminal. And some of these weapons look bloody huge. Alright, so here is Center Mass. Hopefully the terminal is going to work. Hopefully we'll get the information turning up here telling us what's available. If it doesn't turn up, it does mean that this terminal is not working, which is a pain in the bottom. I'll try the other one. Sometimes one works, sometimes one doesn't. Sometimes it's just a glitchy server. Not much you can do if they're not showing, but usually this has you can get usually all the missile mounts, or last time I was here I could get all the missile mounts, so all the MSD mounts were available, which means for an Aurora you could actually get all the size 2s, which are on the MR, but if you had the LX you could get all the size 3s, if you had the LN you could get all the size 4s. And having those different missile mounts, which you can then equip using your mobiGlas, just like we did when we were changing the weapons previously, that gives us a whole range of different weapons or missiles that we could take or load out of our ship before we took it out. And so if you knew you were fighting something where being able to spam missiles, you know, small missiles would be an advantage. You could take a if you had an Aurora LN, you could take out, you know, the size 4 rack that has 8 size 1 missiles on it. But if you just wanted a single chunky missile that could do damage, you could then just take the size 4 rack that had one size 4 missile on it. And so those options and those variations really do add to the bonuses of your Aurora, or the versatility of your Aurora. And to build on that discussion from yesterday as to whether the Aurora was better than, you know, how does the Aurora stack up against the snub ships that say can be paired with the Carrack, that is the thing that leaves the Pisces for dead. The Pisces is just stuck to the basic MSD 111 rack, which is a size 1 rack able to hold one size 1 missile. And so in this case I just tend to think that the Aurora just poops all over the Pisces. It is a shame because the Pisces is a really nice ship. It flies really nice, it feels really comfortable, and as an assist, as a snub ship to the Carrack, I think I'd have rathered it had a science station at the back or a scanner array as an option, so that when I took my, you know, when I left, if I sent my Pisces out to do some scouting, it could actually find the information and then relay it back to the Carrack, where the Carrack would then crunch the information and record it. It might be something they bring in, it might be something I know way back in the beginning, but the idea of the P-52 and the Constellation was that it didn't need a navigation system, because what it would do is it would kind of use a tether of some form to the mothership, and the mothership would provide all that information for it. Whether that's the same type of thing they'll use with the scanning array of the Pisces, I can't tell you. That's pure speculation on my part. But I really do feel that the Pisces would have been a better option had it been, say, a science vessel rather than the taxi that we see it is today. We'll try this one again, just on the off chance that, you know, we can get it to work. But it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. So it looks like the center mass boards are not working. I'm not getting the options of the types of weapons or missiles or turrets that I normally get the option of, and that's just one of the hassles of a game that's going through iterations and testing and other things. And sometimes you fix one thing, and in the fix something gets broken, and it's just part of game development. It doesn't stop us playing the game. I can still go along, and I could buy anything that's on display. I just can't buy the things that aren't on display. So yeah, but this shop is by far the best shop to buy weapons from for your ships. I can't remember whether it also had handheld weapons. I'll try these ones over here. Hopefully one of these will work. And then if that doesn't work, we will go grab our ship and disappear. Nope, that one's not working either. Oh, yes it did. Right at the last second it popped into being useful. Come on, come on. Don't let me down now. Alright, so as you can see, we've got 4 topics we can choose from. We can go for missiles, so this will list all the missiles that are currently available at this shop. So you've got size 3 missiles, size 9 missiles. That would be for your Eclipse or your Retaliator. You can see that these missiles are rather expensive. They're 4,712 Alpha UEC. They do pack a punch. size 3. This is the missile which the LX, the Aurora LX, could have one of, because it's size 3. The size 4 missile here, this is what the Aurora LN could have one of. The Aurora LN could also have 2 of these, or 2 size 3s. It could have over the Riesta 3, which is a cross section, or it could even equip the infrared one. The Aurora LN comes with 4 size 2 missiles, I believe, stock, and these are an example of the size 2 missiles that you could have. But as you can see, as I scroll down, there is a wealth of mission missiles and different sizes of those as well. So the Auroras, depending on which one you've got, can take over size 1, size 2, size 3 or size 4 missiles, and whereas the Pisces can only take 2 size 1s, and it's just that wealth of different missile options you've got. One that I do like personally when I'm looking for them, I'm not sure I've seen them in the list here at the moment, is the Rattlers, but the Rattlers don't come in a size 1 missile, but you can get them in a size 2, a size 3 and a size 4, but they are clearly not available at this shop. In terms of weapons, I've then got the attachments, so I can have a look at the weapons for the guns. So this is also a place I can buy my hand weapons from. I can also buy the handguns, so the sniper rifles, the pistols, the machine guns, the shotguns, and you can get these in ballistic or energy weapons. And so you've got the whole range of weapons there. You've also got the weapons for the ship, so you've got the missile launchers. So here you've got the different racks. So the Aurora, the Pisces has this rack. Now this rack only enables you to carry a single size 1 missile. There's no options for it. This is the one which the Aurora MR has equipped, and this one enables you to equip 2 size. Oh, this one enables you to equip 1 size 2 missiles. Sorry, it's this one, the 221, which the Aurora has equipped, which enables it to equip 2 size 1 missiles. But you can see these 2 racks here, they're exactly the same size, and that means I could equip this rack, or I could equip this rack. Now, because I do have the Aurora MR, and because I've got this rack already equipped, I'm going to buy a 212 rack. It just gives me that option to load out and use a different missile. So we'll buy that one now. We'll buy just one of them. It's only 600 credits, so we'll pick that up. And then what we might do is we also might go back and buy a missile, because we now have got a size 2 rack. We will buy, let's buy a electromagnetic. Let's see if we can get a cross section. I'm not really sure which one's best, but we're using Strike Force on it, so we'll use a Strike Force, okay, and that's a cross section, so we'll take that one. So we'll buy one of them. Actually, we may as well buy a couple of those. Alright, so we'll buy 2, which gives us a reload for later on. Okay, now if I had the LX, I could then look at getting the size 3 mounts. So again, we'll look at the weaponry. We'll go to and is it frozen? Nope. We'll close that one down. Alright. As you can see, there was a bit of a glitch there. It didn't want to move window. If I had the Aurora LX, I then could have the 313 rack, this one here, which enables me to carry 1 size 3 rack. Because it's a size 3 rack, we're looking at size when we're equipping the missile racks, and so we're looking for hardpoint size on the ship. So on the Auroras, that hardpoint is the one on the roof. and it depends on the model of the Aurora, will depend on what size hardpoint you have. The LX has a size 3 hardpoint on the roof, and so it can take a 313 rack, one size 3 weapon. It can take two size 2, so this is the one that comes equipped on the LX, sorry. Or you could get the this one, which enables you to take 4 size 1 missiles. So again, you can see that 4 to the 3 to 1 sizes, and also the number of weapons also goes up. The LX has a size 4 rack, and that means it could take a size 4 missile, 2 size 3 missiles, 4 size 2 missiles, which is what comes bespoke on the LN, or 8 size 1 missiles. And that's the limit of what the Aurora can take. You can see there are other missile racks, and other ships do have those, and that again, as they go up in those sizes, it does give you a greater depth of option. And then we've got our utility mounts, our gadgets, we've got our med pen and our oxy pen. So that's this is one of the reasons I do like Cinemass. And yeah, so now that we've bought that upgrade to our Aurora, we're going to equip it. So we're going to pull up our Mobi-Glass. F1 is the standard we use for that. We're going to go to our ship loadout. We're going to select our Aurora. As soon as it lets me select the Aurora, come on, come on, come on. The game seems to be a bit laggy at the moment. And the Aurora, of course, is still on the planet because we forgot to put our spacesuit on when we died yesterday. And so we'll actually go and claim our spaceship, and then we'll re-equip the missile rack. So let's go to the spaceport. Afternoon Echo, afternoon Rolanders, lovely to see you guys here today. I'm actually fairly good this afternoon, Rolanders. It's certainly not as hot as it has been. Although my my thermometer is saying it is 31 degrees in the little cookery room. Hey Trey, lovely to see you here this afternoon as well. Let's check. No, so we do need to put our helmet on. I'll put my helmet on now so I don't forget, because last time I forgot. Never helps when you get out of a spaceship on a moon and forget to put your helmet on. Yes, strong winds. Strong winds can arrive suddenly. Winds that will blow your ship all over the place, but surprisingly enable you to remain standing. I find that quite humorous, really. And I do really just love the looks that we get in Stanton System. Even in its buggy mess, even though it does crash and at times it's slow, the cityscapes that we find are great. I love the almost Blade Runner vibe that we get with Hardcore, and I do know, or I'm pretty certain that's what I've heard Star Citizen devs talk about in the past, that this kind of has that Blade Runner feel to it. It's dirty, it's grimy, it's kind of cross it between Blade Runner and Coruscant. So you kind of got this kind of blend of different styles there. Microtech is just that really nice, almost country life feel. It can stop you running if you're if it's really windy, but it still doesn't blow you away. But it can blow your ships away. So we are clearly heavier than our ships. I've noticed every so often you still come across the election posters. Oh, there they are there. For those who are new to the game, these were the recent candidates in the election. We had Costigan, the son of the old Imperator. We then had Sherrod and Nago, and then we'll had LaSalle, and the one who actually ended up winning was this blue one here, whose name eludes me. What was her name? Some educationalist bozo, all for AI. Didn't explain how she was going to pay for the AI improvements, but everyone went, yeah, we'll vote for her because she'll give us AI ships and AI this, and so no one really considered or thought about the implications of having someone elected to a position with no idea of how they were going to pay for their policies. And so I keep saying that, you know, we'll find that costs and taxes get imposed in game. Thank you, Echo. Lelani Addison, that's the one. Lelani Addison, I think she's a bit of a crackpot, but that would just be me. And we are going to claim the ship, just so you guys don't have to sit there for 2.5 minutes. One of the things I will say about the election was that every candidate had issues, and so there was no one perfect candidate. They all had, you know, pluses for them, but they all had things that made you go, oh, I don't want this person. Yeah, I'm glad to see you're an intelligent young man, Echo. I can't remember who I actually voted for in the end. I know it wasn't her. I think I may have gone for Costigan because it was the devil we know. But LaSalle just felt too much like Trump. It was too much. Felt too Trumpy. Too much Trumpism is what it kind of came across as. Nago wanted to have peaceful negotiations. And, you know, peaceful negotiations with the aliens, which includes the Vandur, who, you know, are not very nice. And I've heard that also Lelani Addison was after that idea as well, of promoting peace among the nations, which was a bit of I think it's a bit silly when you're looking at the aliens. And I have a feeling that Leilani was also backed by the alien races. Not the Tavaran. We've conquered them. Not the Banu. Oh, dear me, I'm shocking today. The Aurora. Yeah, but they were. I tend to think that the aliens backed her, and I'm killing myself. I can't remember the names of the aliens. Happens when I'm trying to do 5 things at once. I think I am a mere male. But yeah, I've got the feeling that the aliens backed up, but that's kind of a behind the scenes stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if they're kind of trying to gain influence in UAE affairs by skullduggery. I wouldn't put it past any of the alien races to try and do that. Yeah, the turtle people, that's them. I can never remember who they are. I'm almost tempted to get some Leyland turtles and take them to their space and kind of kill them in front of them just to Xian. Echo, thank you. And then there's that other race that we haven't encountered, but I think they're Kithrak or something like that, and we don't know anything about them. We've just heard the name. I still remember back to 2014 at PAX Australia, and I was talking with Aaron back then, and he was saying that the way the PU would work, it would be if we conquered a system and we held it long enough that it would become a human system. Similarly, if a Vandal took a system and we did nothing about it, the system would become a Vandal system. Same for Xian, same for Tavaran. And we were talking how the PU, or the Universal Star Citizen, was kind of modelled on Rome, and you know, the Vandal being the Vandal and that. And his question to me was, you know, who's pushing the Vandal, or what's pushing the Vandal? And so, do they have, you know, was it just a red herring, or was Aaron hinting that they've actually kind of thought that there is, you know, down the track there's other aliens that are going to come in, and we're going to find out the reason the Vandal are so aggressive against us is because they're being pushed by another nation, and they're kind of a migratory species. That is something I have not the answer to. I'm pretty certain no one else really has the answer to, but it's certainly something to consider. So we're going to our missile rack, and you can see now we've got our 212 rack we've got available, and we've got our 221 rack currently equipped. We're going to put our 212 rack on. So this is enabling us to carry a single size 2 weapon rather than 2 size 1 weapons. So we'll make those changes, and then we're going to then equip our Strike Force 2 missile. And now we've got a single size 2 missile on top of our Aurora, and you can see our size 2 missile sitting there rather than the 2 size 1 missiles. So having now made the changes to our Aurora, we'll close our window, and we will summon our ship and leave. Actually, before I do that, I'll see if there are any missions here that we want to do. I think we're just going to try and do a couple of box missions. And so we'll try this one again. It looks like exactly the same one we had last night, but this time what we're going to do is, as we do the mission, as we pick up the box, we're actually going to look at which one we've picked up, and that's going to help us work out which ones we need to put into particular boxes, which is what we didn't do last night. Yep, and that's right, the Vandal kind of have that Hun-like, they're kind of a blend. When we're looking at Star Citizen and we're looking at the kind of drawing parallels with real world history, there's the base underlining aspect, but none of the races are really tied in as just one. So you look at the Tavaran, and the Tavaran are really like your Carthaginians and Hannibal. But they're also similar to the Gauls, who were threatening Rome in its early history as well. And so you've got the Tavaran kind of being an amalgamation of Vercingetorix and his defeat by Caesar, as well as the Carthaginians and their defeat by the early Romans as well. But you've got both of them being there and both being conquered and kind of and the Tavaran being incorporated into the empire. You've got the Xian being kind of your Chinese, but kind of your also your Persians as being a threat to the empire. You've got the Banu being, I'm not sure where they fit, they're just the almost the gypsies and the trading nations, the Phoenicians, I suppose. And then you've got you've got the Vandal, who are the Huns, or the Vandal Germanic races who were being pushed into the German territories in the later empire. And so you can't just look at one and go, oh yeah, that's that. Sometimes there are multiple threads that tie in with the races. So we're going to do this mission again, or try and do this mission, and we're going to go to Walla to pick up these parcels, but this time as we pick them up we're going to actually see which one the delivery point is for that mission. So don't do the way I did it yesterday, that will leave you unstuck. Certainly remember, always put your helmet on and double check before you leave your ship. So it's being tracked, so we can close that and we will go get our ship and then fly to Walla. Yeah, the more I think about the Aurora versus the Pisces, and I've gone back to this topic a couple of times, the more I'm becoming more of a fan of the Aurora over the Pisces. As a support ship for the Carrack, the Pisces doesn't cut it. It lacks the scientific hardware that you'd want. Being a snub ship, it's only got the one shield, and so if it gets into a combat situation, it's kind of harder done by. It can only carry 2 size 1 missiles, so you lose that variety option. And it carries exactly the same cargo as an Aurora, but the Aurora has the bed, and that means if you're exploring, if I was out exploring with Echo and in his Carrack and I had the Aurora, and we got to a point where we were separated but we needed a log, we could actually both log off in our ships and then come back another day, log in, back into our ships, boom, and meet up. But if I was in the Pisces and Echo's in the Carrack and he needs to go, he logs out, I can't log out in the Pisces unless I go to a starbase or something like that. And that is, for me, probably the thing that in the end, that and the missile loadout options is the thing that makes the Aurora just so much better than the Pisces, especially when most of the Auroras, the MR, the CL, LX and LN, all can have 4 size 1 lasers, whereas only the C8X can have 4 size 1 lasers. And so in terms of weapon loadout, generally they're the same, although the C8 and the EX can only have 2. So just because of that, I'm really at the point where the Aurora for me has risen, its stocks have gone up through the roof. Okay, R to equip our ship and give it power. F1. Actually, we'll go to our star map first, and while we're waiting for our ship to power up, and we want to go to Walla and pickup point on Corp 45. Okay, now that's done, we'll close our mobiGlas, pressing F1. We're now going to, actually shouldn't have done that, we should have called up landing services. So we'll go to our friends, click landing services, close our mobiGlas, and you can hear the sound of the gates opening, and when they stop your navigates are open. I usually start taking off, raise my landing gear straight away, and then I'll just slowly rise up while I wait for the gates to finish opening. And once they're finished opening, away we go. So again, you'll have noticed I did put myself into cruise control. Standard default for that is C on your keyboard. And I've got my cruise control trying to get to maximum velocity, but because we're going straight up, we're actually fighting the gravity of the planet, so it's only rising very slowly. So to go into external view, you can go F4. If you want to do free look, Z, and then you can scroll your camera around and have a look, and you can see how we're going straight up from our landing pad. Now this gives us a better look of that size 2 missile up on the top of our Aurora, and you can still see the 2 ballistic of 2 energy scatter guns that I've mounted on the wings, as well as the 2 attrition size 1 guns that are on the chin of the Aurora as well. So they're the modifications I've done. I've taken the ballistic nose guns off and replaced them with energy weapons. We'll start spooling up our engines. And now we're rolled up and ready, away we go. Okay. That was a bit of a glitch there. So our first quantum jump's done. We're now going to make to our second quantum jump. I'll scroll down my speed a little bit. We're now ready, so B to jump. Now, because I've got a pickup, I don't need to use my usual routine of activating my jump drive to see where the location is I'm going. the pickup point is the jump point location which we had. You can see the two different parcels there, or two different locations, so today we'll be picking them up from two different buildings. Landing gear down with N. And we'll just land on the landing pad, I think. Again, because we can. Level up and start to head down. Turn off our engines so that our fuel scoops can pick up some hydrogen, and get out of our seat by pressing Y. Double check that we've got our helmet on, and exit. So after 3 parcels from this landing zone, I've got to admit, the previous time I picked up 3 parcels and they were in different rooms, I wasn't getting the parcel box positions either, which was it's nice when you do get that. I wonder if that means this time I'll also get the location of where this parcel is supposed to go. If I do, this might be the way the mission is supposed to work. We will find out. It's actually telling me what parcel number it is. Whereas you'll remember yesterday, you couldn't tell from the parcel. I wonder if that box is swaying from side to side like that because she's a girl. You know, getting that hip movement. So Echo, I know that on Friday SCA are doing their wandering around the verse, or sightseeing in the verse. Is that more or less it, or is it something more nuanced than that? And as you can see, today we've actually got the location, the box numbers, which makes it really really helpful. Something we didn't have yesterday despite tracking the mission. At least I thought I was tracking the mission. Maybe I forgot. So we've got one there, that's where that goes. So because we were in the Odyssey 2 and the temperature is minus 63 degrees, the Odyssey 2 armor protects you from minus, I know it's minus 40 to 70 degrees, not minus 60. But because it's a lot significantly close, you can see that it's actually got a better protection in terms of time. So you get about 23 minutes on the Odyssey, depending on the temperature you're facing. So much better than having to wear the big clunky armor, although the Novikov and Pembroke is not too bad if you're a female, because you don't get the arm crossing over the your and there's our two boxes there we need. But if you've got a Pembroke or Novikov armor and you're a male, what you find is as you pull up your Moby glass, the first three options are taken are blocked by the sleeve of your armor. So because I've got the details of what the box is and where the box has to go, I'm not going to do the check in the mission log. So what are you guys up to today? I'm going to go get that third one. And once we've picked the third one up, we'll have a look at where the locations are. I expect we'll do the one that's closest first. And the one that's furthest away we'll do last. You see the temperature's dropped to minus 100, and so we only had 14 minutes of time left to get in shelter, rather than the 20 minutes we had when it was minus 60. So we must have a cold front or a storm coming up. Oh, well, I hope you have a pleasant time at work today, Islanders. What about you, Trey? Oh well. Yes, they're not packed nice and not stacked nice and neatly. So we've got the three parcels. We actually know where they're going, and so we can actually look at our mobile glass and see the mission now. And again, the mission will actually tell us where each of those missions, each of those are going to. So you can see we've actually got the numbers, and that's telling us where they have to go. So the first one is on Walla. So we'll do this one first, the one to Parkport 61, the mining center 61. We'll then do the one. We'll then do the one to the space station on Grange Point 1 before we come back to ArcCorp. Mainly because ArcCorp I find is just a little bit more difficult to land at. It is, you've got the gravity and other features as well. So we'll do 8-7, then 8-5, then 9-1 is the order we're going to do them. Okay, so we'll close our window. We're going to get into our ship, usual routine. We're now going to turn our engine back on. And you can see we're 97% hydrogen fuel again. And we're going to set our first jump point. We're going to go to when we get the moon. And our first jump point for 65 is over here. Okay, it's not letting me get it in. Sometimes it gets a bit sticky and it just doesn't want to work. But given this one is so close, we're just going to take off and be able to target that one. No, that's not that one. That's 2,000 kilometers away. That's the one on ArcCorp. Let's try doing the map again. Scrolling out. Okay, now we've got it hooked in. We tighten up our jump drive, our quantum drive. I keep calling it a jump drive. I've got to stop that. Especially once we get our the jump points into different systems, because jump drives and quantum drives, while they're related, they're different. Jump drives do system to system, whereas quantum drives just do inter-system. Again, because I've got the package markers showing me where I need to go, I'm not worrying about doing my usual open up my quantum drive so that I can see whereabouts I'm actually trying to travel to. Now we're getting pretty low. We can see the hills there, so we're just going to raise our nose up just a little bit. We're still 12 kilometers out from Algared 61. Now, while you may have noticed, I didn't actually put my landing gear up when I took off from Algared mining area 45, but when I went into quantum, you'll notice now that my landing gear is up, and that's generally because if you go into quantum, your landing gear is automatically raised for you. So if you forget, it doesn't matter, but if you want to look like you're not as newbie as you, or as new as you may appear, raising your landing gear as you take off is one way to not look like you're a totally new player, or at least that you're not totally forgetful. Let's see, where's the landing pad? There it is. We're nicely lined up. And the landing gear went down. I'm pretty certain I put it lowered that, but clearly I didn't. That's one of the things I do find. Sometimes you press the buttons for to do the landing gear or do something like that, and it doesn't kick in, and then you look like a real noob when you land without the landing gear. So just another thing to be aware of. So again, usual thing we're going to do is landing gear, not landing gear off, but engines off. And we're after parcel 87, so get out of our seat. If we look around, we can see that parcel 87 is 71 metres away, so we now find parcel 87 here, which is this one here. We go exit. I know my helmet's on because I didn't take it off after I checked last time. Double check 87. Yep, 87 is in my hands. I just spun around to double check from the one that was left in the ship. And we should be putting this into the drop-off parcel locker. So you can see when things are working properly, these missions are quite easy. They just take time. The problem I've found most of the time with these missions though is the fact that I'll get 2 or 3 of them done and then the game will crash to desktop, which always leaves me feeling like I've been cheated or something like that. So click on the put box into container, and rather than trying to place the box, we click the place from inside the container itself. And we get a message saying the first one has been done. Nope, no message saying the first one's been done, but if we check our mobiblast and our mission status, we will see that that first one has been delivered. So there you go, the first one has been done. So we're now going to go to ArcCorp Lagrange Point 1. It is further away than the landing zone, but what I hope I'll be able to do is actually take some produce to that ArcCorp place as well until we can sell that. If not, we'll be able to just take it back to ArcCorp. So let's close that and let's buy some cargo. What do we have available here? And we've got nothing available here, so that's no good. So we're not buying anything. There you go. So back to our ship. So as Shimmerlanders, that means in your position you'll just be kind of listening to the stream in the background or watching it later, yeah? So we want to enter the ship. Oh, we've only got 8 minutes left. Damn, getting cold on that moon. I wasn't paying attention to the temperature. That could have been fatal. So now we're in space, we're going to set up map to Lagrange point 1. So you can see we've got one drop off for Arcor, which is really close, but the last drop off is way over here. And we're actually going to go to the Wild Forest Station. That's where we're going to drop the landing marker off. Let's see, can we find the station? There it is. Okay, so we've got 3 jumps to do. Orbital marker 2, Lagrange point 1, and then Forest Station. Close our mobiGlas so we set it up. Follow the arrow. B to spool up our quantum drive. And to raise our landing gear. And B to jump. Okay, so now we've got our second jump. And B to jump. I probably could have gone to Arcor and picked up stuff to sell at Lagrange point 1. That would have been the other option. But I'm not really bothered. You know, I might get 200 or 300 from the stock, given that I'm only in an Aurora. Whereas, say, doing these 3 boxes over, over an hour, and I could probably do them quicker if I ran, or wasn't spending time talking or trying to describe things as well. You know, and I'm making 3, 4, 5 times what I'd make doing those little trade missions. So when you're a beginner, these box missions are quite useful. And again, if you're looking at the starter ships, so which is basically, you know, the base starter ships, the two cheapest packages, the Aurora and the Mustang can't do these missions, whereas the Aurora can. So in terms of if you're just buying a single ship and a single package, the Aurora is the ship to go for. And you don't need to have, you know, people have dozens of ships, and you know, I've got dozens of ships on my other account, and you don't need them. You don't need them to play Star Citizen. You don't need them to be, you don't need to be a massive backer and concierge and everything else. You just need a single ship that can do box missions or do combat, and the Aurora can do those. So there's our last point. We'll lower down our speed. We're spooled up, so we'll now zoom. Now we'll go up to regular speed. And so we'll need to land at the station and then get out the ship, take the parcel inside, most likely to the admin office, and put it into the box in the admin office. And since we're running out, since we're a bit low on fuel, we might, once we drop that off, what we'll do, we'll come back, we'll pick up some food and drink, and then put our helmet on before we get back into our ship. F1 people, and let's see if they're in range yet, and no, they're not. Okay. What ship do I plan to be my first upgrade? I think the ship that the Aurora that I probably want to go to, for me, is probably the is ideally the Titan, but the simple fact that I have a rock miner and I'd like to be able to travel around with a rock miner, I think the first ship I probably really want to get to is the Cutlass Black, just because the Cutlass Black can carry the miner. I don't want to go from a starter ship to a starter ship, and the Nomad, to me, even though it can carry the rock miner, to me it is a worse ship. It's a downgrade to go from an Aurora to a Nomad, and so I'll probably look at trying to get the Cutlass. It might mean I do the Titan first, and just still use the Aurora, the rock in the same way that I've tried to use it so far. I probably, based on that, probably shouldn't have bought the rock, and should have probably just kept the 175,000 towards 172,000, sorry, towards being able to buy the Avenger Titan. Landing gear. Engines. Whoop. Go back a little. It helps to turn off. Again, I thought I'd turned off my cruise control, but I obviously didn't hit the keyboard hard enough. And now we go down. Before we get out of the ship, we'll actually do some repairs. So you can see belly landing hurt my ship a little bit, probably a little bit of wear and tear on the components as well. So just repairing is just making sure that I'm keeping the ship in as good a nick as I can. You never know when you're going to need those. Yeah, and that's right. That like the Nomad one is a small ship, and it can carry the Nomad. It costs $80 of real money, whereas the Cutlass Black cost $100. And in game, I think they're very similarly priced, and so waiting that little bit longer to get the Cutlass Black rather than just going to the Nomad, I can get a better ship in the Cutlass Black. But I'll be honest, I'm not a fan of the Cutlass Black. It's a ship that's never really caught me, but it is a nice ship. And the rework on it is really, really awesome. Just check where we're heading. Which one are we taking in? We're taking in 8.5. And the Nomad, while it is, as you know, like you said, it's kind of as cheap as a Cutlass, but it has significantly less to offer. It's basically a Ute or a Ram, or a what do you guys call it in the States? Like the Ram trucks, the open back. In Australia, it's just a Ute. And we have numerous styles of Utes, but anything that's got that open back is a Ute, and that's basically what the Nomad is. To me, it really does scream Xeon tech. So the design doesn't really fit for me as being Consolidated Outland. It would have been a better myth ship, I think, if I were going to blend the alien tech. I would have rather to see it land on those skids rather than kind of float. But that's me, you know. But it's an overpriced starter ship. The packages when it came out, the packages for the Cutlass, not the Cutlass Black, but the Nomad were really good. Oh dear me. Okay, store our ship. Okay. So on the way back, we'll come and get some. We'll get some food and drink just to top up our hydration and food. You can see our hydration has dropped to 77%. I never like having low hydration. I like to feel I'm not going to, you know. It's probably like she's probably feeling like I was yesterday. Absolutely dehydrated and needing numerous bowls of water. Oh, dearie. So we want the Galeria rather than the refinery. And the admin office is straight ahead. And so we want to put this in the admin office. The admin office is also where we can buy stock. And I'm just going to execute myself. Well, not execute myself, but I'm just going to... the dogs have made their way into my flat, so I've got to boot them out. So I'll once I've dropped this off, I will do a be right back. Alright, so I'll be right back. I've just got to put the dogs out. So who let the dogs in? That's the question. And sorry about that. The little rodents. Two little Havanese dogs, so, and they decided they didn't want to go out. Alright, so we're now at the console. We'll see what we can buy in minerals or other stuff we want to buy. So we're going to select our location, collect our, and we can only buy scrap. We don't really want to buy scrap, so we're just going to leave. I know there's probably a place on Artcore where I could sell scrap, but I can't be bothered to hunt those out. So we now go to our ship. We go back to our ship. Actually, we were going to buy food, weren't we? Mind your step. food court that way. Alright, F1, helmet off. Because you can't eat or drink if you're wearing your helmet. Close our helmet. Alright, let's see, is there anything I can buy here? Nope, not on that side. Okay, we've got our energy bars, so we'll munch on a couple of them. You're rude, I'm not going to buy anything off you. What indeed? Well, I'm going to take that one. And I wonder why I don't want to buy anything off him. Okay, we'll buy some food. Come on, nope. Can I get some food? Nope. Alright, so he doesn't have any drinks, so let's see if we can find some with some water. Burrito bar, what's he got? He's got water, there you go. So if you want to keep drinking, you press the left mouse key and it just makes you drink your whole bottle. If you don't do that, you kind of drink a sip and then hold your bottle for a little longer. So we'll put the bottle in the bin and then we will get another one and just show you the why I scoff my bottle. So there's my bottle, and I just want to take a sip, so I just click. I'm not holding the mouse button down now, but what it does is it takes about 20% of a drink. I can do that again, and so if I had a if I had a place where I was storing this bottle in my bag, then I could actually just take a sip when I needed it and put it away and not worry. But I don't have my backpack equipped, so we're just going to scull the bottle. And I usually tilt my head back because to me it feels normal. Alright, go to the bin again, because they can always recycle. And now we go back, now we go to our ship. So we came up the stairs. And we want to go to the lift, which is around here somewhere. Banking, does this work at the moment? Nope. No, that's not the way we had to come. Dang nabbit. Where's the lift when you want them? That is the admin office. It's impossible to find. Where's the food? Ah, we went down, up the stairs, didn't we? Yeah, the Max is a nice ship. I do like the feel of the freelancers. If the Constellations were cheaper. I'd probably opt a Constellation over a Freelancer. I know the Constellations have lots of problems, but the Constellation was my first ship, and so that's probably the ship that I'd get first, or try to get before I got those. But in terms of in terms of trying to do things that'll make my rover viable and more viable for me to be able to just fly it around and then find those gems and then mine them, I think I'll be using a Cutlass Black. Will be the upgrade I go for. If the grind becomes too much and I do have enough for a Nomad, maybe I will get the Nomad. I haven't decided. I guess it's one of the things we'll have to wait and see. But certainly that will be my goal, to get a ship which I can carry even the rock miner in. Now, hopefully, having stored the vehicle means my box is still going to be there. I'd be really upset if it wasn't. Hangar number up. Before we do that, put your mask on. Put your armor back on, young lady. Don't go outside half dressed. It will kill you. Admittedly, if it did kill me, I would have spawned back at this station, so it wouldn't have been as traumatic as sometimes happens. And I believe it was plat number 2, so we've got to scroll down to the pads, and pad number 2, there you go. And the question is, did the box come back? Yes, it did. Okay, so now we go into airlock. Now, of course, that box isn't showing that it's the location I need to go to, but that's okay. We know we've only got one left. So, power on. We'll go to F2. So we'll clear our route, and we want to zoom out, and we want to head to ArcCorp now. So we're going to scroll right out and return to our station. So there's ArcCorp. We know we're going to ArcCorp. The nice thing is, because this is I think this is the landing bay in ArcCorp, so hopefully that will mean if it's in the airport where I'm dropping this off, it'll actually make finding the airport really easy. If it's not, it'll just make it a little bit harder, but we'll find out. Alright, so we've now got our landing marker done, so we take off, landing gear up, line up our Oh, there's a ship coming in, Bolt. Is that a ship coming in? No, it's just a turret. For a second I thought it was a ship coming in. How sad. Would have been nice if it was a ship coming in. And we'll turn down our turn off our in-game chat as well. So we're now flying to ArcCorp. It'll take us a little bit, we're 2 million kilometers away, but it won't take us long to get there. So the 8,000 I earn here in the hour or so that I've been playing is equivalent to the eight of those Luminalia boxes, which I picked up in like 5 minutes. Or was it even half a minute? So the Luminalia boxes were an absolute godsend for any beginner player. And just unbelievable cash cow. I can see in future years they won't offer as much. They'll probably be a tenth of that, but we'll see. I suppose one thing that I'll possibly look at doing before I even look at upgrading to another ship is actually upgrading the components on the Aurora, just to see how good the MR can become. I really wish there was a way to upgrade ships in a series to another one in the series, so you know, make the MR into an LN. Way back when the ship was originally designed, the idea was that you would be able to, oh look at that, it is over at the landing pad. Woohoo! So that should be the landing pad over there. Let's have a look. Yeah, because there's the airport. There's the airport to the side here. We're now in the landing zone, that means no combat. And this will probably be the vertical hangar we were in the other day. But I do know there are some horizontal hangars. I do find the horizontal hangars in ArcCorp difficult, or more difficult, just because they take a little bit of getting used to. We just seem to be lagging a little bit, so I'm going to slow my approach a little bit more. the last time I was doing an approach, and we had lag. I was with my nephew, and you know, I was coming in really smooth, and he's going, "Hey, you're going too fast." And I said, "No, no, we're right," you know. And he was seeing it as it was. I was seeing it like a minute or two back, and I'm saying, "Oh yeah, you know, 3,000. Yeah, we're laughing." And then we crashed. Then the game crashed to desktop. Um, I didn't see us crash and burn, but he did. He saw us crash and explode, and I just saw us taking it nice and slow. Um, I've got to admit that was quite humorous. I suppose you had to be there to appreciate that one. Looks like it's a vertical landing pad. Exactly the same one as yesterday by the look of it. You notice this one, the engine's off. Jump out of the ship. Pick up our parcel. I have a feeling that I've actually gone to the wrong place. Because I have a feeling that private landing pad is too far away. So let's just try this out. We're going to get in our ship. We're going to do our refuel stuff as we usually do, but then we're going to take off and go to that other private landing pad. I've just got a feeling. I haven't had it before. Not the feeling, but this type of mission where there's a separate landing pad I want to go to. Normally that's in the main landing pad, but we are on ArcCorp, and ArcCorp is slightly different. And I've just got a feeling we might need to go to the top of a rooftop and a landing pad there. And now we go F and engines on. And we go to landing services, and we go to friends, and we go to Alright, so we've taken off out of landing pad, whatever it was that we were in from ArcCorp station. We'll fly above the no-fly zone, keeping our nose level because we don't want to go too weird. Turn ourselves around so we're at the location where that was. And so this will have us fly through the skyscape, I suppose. Yes and no. He hasn't been on too much since Christmas, because he's been back at work. And most of the Christmas period he was up in Queensland for a good whack of a Christmas period. He and his family were up in Queensland. Basically because his grandfather died, so so my brother's wife's dad passed away, so that kind of made him a bit bummed. So he hasn't been on as much as he had been around the IAE and the lead up to Christmas. I'll have to get him on. Let me get down. Level up the nose. Cut our speed. And go down a little bit. Bring our nose down a little. Oh, dear me. It's glitching a bit, I think. It's sticking. Okay, so again, same routine. Stand up. Now, because we're an art cop, we could actually get by without having our helmet on. Art cop does have a breathable atmosphere. And we can see now we've got our package number has returned, which is nice to know as well. And put the box in. And that's it, we've done our mission. So that time, so what is it, an hour and 15 minutes or so, has earned us 8,000 alpha UEC. And that's generally how you do your missions. And I've got to say that even though the missions, I find them frustrating at times, because if you crash halfway through, you've lost that progress. But I've got to say that because it is, you know, take off, fly to a place, land, and there's different things to see. And I've seen most of these places before, but that was still quite enjoyable. It was still quite pleasant. It was one of those things you can do when you've just got a bit of time to chill. You just want to enjoy the sights of the game without having too much hassle. And these missions, these delivery missions, can be quite useful and quite lucrative. It's not, you know, there are other missions and there are other things you can do that are more lucrative in terms of income, and so we can just have a look at some of those by going up to our contract manager, and you can see that, you know, we've still got the 8,000 ones for delivery. The service beacons, they're 3,000. So this one's probably a fairly cheap one, I hope, given that it's fairly low. It's probably a low level pirate. Combat assistance again, getting a bit more expensive, likely to be a more experienced pilot. Again, likely to be a more experienced pilot, but these are also more likely to be NPCs, given the names of the characters. Maintenance mission, again, fairly low. Unlikely to have a lot of combat or danger. But again, it'll probably take, it's probably go to 2 or 3 places and pick up stuff, so it'll take time. The bounty missions, getting a bit more into, these will be player bounties. Seize and destroy narcotics, again, we talked about this one yesterday, I think. 8,000 plus whatever else you can get, so there might be drugs or other things you can find that you kind of steal and take care of, or you might have to kill some NPCs and then you steal their guns or whatever you do. Removing claim jumpers, 22,500, but the quality of that goes up quite a lot. So in terms of how many NPCs you're fighting and what you've got to do, so there are several freelancers or miners, and there's also some turrets that you have to take out, and once you've taken those out and cleared that out, then your mission is completed. Usually done with a larger ship, or certainly not with an Aurora. Then there's the call to arms. The call to arms is just kill pirates and you get a bonus. Then there's personal missions, and the personal missions we've got resupply the drugs, and again that is going up 9,000. Then there's a light touch, another mission for 9,000. This one's there's going to be a clearance sale on a dead starfarer. You know, and you just go in there to make sure you clear out the pirates and do stuff. Maintenance, clean up a messy situation. 4 mercenary topics there, but again paying out quite a bit. And so even though the missions seem a bit light on what they usually are, you can see that the missions scale up in difficulty, and they will benefit. You know, if you've got a crew or you've got a bigger ship, they're missions that you would do rather than say the delivery missions, which are really geared for someone in a ship like an Aurora. I still think the Aurora's just makes it so you can do those missions. I'd like it if it had a little bit more cargo space. I'd like it if it had its cargo container on the back and you could actually put stuff in the cargo container. But the Aurora is always, you know, the idea of the Aurora was you bought, you know, if you were delivering cargo, you were basically delivering that container to someone. They're not shown in the graphics of the game yet, but that is one of the things that I hope we will see eventually. So if we go around to the back of a ship, you can actually see where the Aurora's cargo containers would be clamped. So there's the clamp system there that you'd see for the Aurora's cargo containers, and they'd be held in between those clamps and the front there. This is the same type of clamp system that the Mustangs use as well, but they are using the bigger containers. But this is, you know, and I believe in the original rule it actually said they were using RSI's clamp for cargo. I don't know whether that was law or whether it was stated by the devs as a kind of add-on, but you know, but either way, the Auroras and Mustangs are using the same tech. Yeah, but that's one of the things doing the missions as well. Because they often take you to different locations, you often find some beautiful locations, you know, some beautiful eye candy. Just doing those missions, they'll take you to a site you normally wouldn't go to. It is one of the things I do like, and I've done the same. I've gone to locations that doing a mission. Oh, sorry. And I normally wouldn't have gone to that location, but because of the mission, I went there, and it's like, wow, this is awesome. And then instead of just doing the mission, I've got out and I've walked around, and I've just enjoyed the view. So yeah, so I know what I know what you mean. All right, so what we're going to do, I think, is we're going to leave and we're going to head off to. Let's see, maybe which moons have we got? Maybe if we go to Aberdeen in Hurston, and let's see if there's any. I'll see if I can find a. Oh, sorry. I'll see if I can find a hand mining location and do a bit of hand mining. I've probably got to go in about an hour's time, so I don't really want to start another box mission, which I may have to leave halfway through. Whereas hand mining, if I go there and I get halfway through, it doesn't bother me if I leave. If you've joined the channel, welcome. Say hi in the chat. I'd love to hear from you. If you've got any ideas of things that you want me to talk about, or any questions about Stanton Citizen you want my thoughts or opinions on, please ask. And myself and the other guys in chat, I'm sure will respond if it's something they feel equally knowledgeable on. I don't claim to be the fount of all knowledge, but it is something that you can ask, and I will give you my thoughts and opinions. Right, so we're turning our engines back on. We're taking off, and we're just going to go straight up for a while, and then we're going to go into Atmo, or then we're going to get exit Atmo. Angle our ship up, go into cruise control, and we'll say goodbye to Arccorp. Maybe I should just go to Daymar and the Kudor mine, mainly because I know what's at the Kudor mine. But that's not very experimental, is it? Oh, dear me, sorry. Alright, let's have a look. Level this up to a little better. Alright, so well, that's closer, so we will go to there and we will try Aberdeen. I have heard Aberdeen's got some fairly good mining, so let's. So I don't really mind if I end up. Let's see, rehabilitation centre, I don't want to go there. Okay, so we'll try that. That's low on the horizon of Arccorp. And jump, and yes, we didn't raise our landing gear, I know. Yeah, I do know the mission persons are usually in the caves. Hang on. Sorry about that interruption from household. It's not the dogs, it's people. So yeah, I do know the people, find the people missions are usually in mines, and they're actually usually pretty good to do. And once again, disruptions from family members. So anyway, that's now taken care of. But yeah, so I might actually look at see if I can do a missing person one. Let's see if there are any missing person missions that we can do while we're flying to Hurston. Personal. Okay, claiming a stake. Nope, that's no good for us. We might find one once we get into Hurston, the missions change. Because at the moment we don't have the option for that. I know Aberdeen used to be, and Hurston used to be a place where you would find those missing person missions. They were the places they were first introduced. Certainly that's what my memory says, but you know, I do have a shocker memory at times. My memory also says that they were also on Daymar, so but when we get to Hurston we'll see if the missions change. Again, my memory does say that they do change, but different locations have different kind of mission givers, and that can make for different locations having different missions. So you could use all your delivery missions and say ArcCorp, and then fly to Hurston and do a similar style of delivery mission. So instead of working for Covalex, you might work for Red Wine delivery. And so you could actually go through and see quite a lot of the system just by doing box missions, or just by doing other types of missions. And to do the box missions, and if you did every box mission that was on that site, yes, they're going to be very similar, but it's going to take you, 2 or 3 hours, or maybe 2 hours to do it. And you could probably do 2 or 3, if you've got a bigger ship. People sometimes pick up all of them and then gather all the boxes and then go and kind of work out how to deliver them, and that's one option you can do as well. Alright, so while we're flying to the station, we'll go to that. Well, not flying to the station, but in direction of the moon. We'll go to missions list again, and now we see we've got a whole lot more. So we've got delivery. So now we've got the Red Wind, not Red Wine, but Red Wind delivery missions. Same price, but as you can see, same type of thing. Service beacon, combat assistance, they're still there. Investigation, missing client. Okay, so this is $4,000 at the Proto Life Insurance, and they went missing in Aberdeen. So since we're going to Aberdeen, that sounds like a really good cave to do. So we'll go there. So the advantage of doing that is we'll wander around the cave, and as we're wandering around the cave, we're going to do hand mining. And if we find the person, then we leave and we get an extra 4,000. If we don't find her, oh well. And if I need to leave before I finish, then I'll just say ciao and log out, and we'll log into the game at another point and end up at probably ArcCorp. Okay, jumping. I don't think there's a station above Aberdeen, is there? Generally we've got a station above each of the planets, but Aberdeen's a moon, so it doesn't have one. At least I don't think so. I'll slow down because it says the code directly in front of me, but I can't see squat. I have a feeling there's probably a mountain range ahead of me as well. So 2,000 meters up, we should be right for altitude. We do have our lights on, so we should actually see ground before we actually have a nasty encounter. We're starting to get pea soup. Not sure whether this has a cave entrance or whether it's the location where the person is at the moment. And oh, there's a cave entrance, so it is a cave entrance there. Lights off. Okay, I don't know what we collided. We did get the collision warning. Probably means we're not really sitting straight. Let's have a look. No, we're sitting really nicely. Okay, so engine's off, and hopping out of our ship. Now let's see if we did get our, one of the things I did forget to check is whether we lost our mining tool when we went into, when we had to do a character reset. I do know I lost a couple of the ship weapons. So let's go in and see if we can equip a mining tool. Utility. And so it just got detached up, we didn't lose it, so that's a good thing. Let's save the changes, and one out, and now we go exit stage left even. Damn, 9 minutes. Oh, you want to be another car, don't you? But once I get down here, I will no longer cop that effect. There we go, okay. What I should have done, I don't know whether I'll be able to do this without dying, but we're going to try. We want another color armor, I think. Oh, almost killed me. Okay, so let's see if we can we change our other helmet. Can we change to a Pembroke helmet? Let's have a go. Risky business to change our armor helmet while we're on a nasty planet. And the answer was yes, we could. Okay, so for to draw out mobile our tool. I think we've got some dollar line there, we'll cover that up. So that one looks like I can't get it. I did see it glow orange or yellow before, but doesn't look like it's going to let me get it, so we're going to stand back up. Our scanning tool. The poop miner. The agricultural produce. It's not worth much, but it's one of those things that you pick up, and if you end up running out of space and needing more room, you dump it. But if you don't need to, oh, how nice! If you don't need to dump it, then it's just extra cash, isn't it? That was a bit laggy. No, you can't get a better break than that. And that was probably a good example of when you keep it really close to the green line, how close the bits of rock fall together, whereas if it's higher up, they fall further apart. So given that I've got just under an hour to go, I'll finish picking these up and then I'll go continue seeing if I can find my $4,000 mission. And then if I've got time, I'll finish doing the rocks. So these are also another way, really nice way to pass time away. You just gather these, and you know you'll make enough credits to keep yourself occupied, and not going out the back door backwards, which is always a good thing. You know, you'd have to be really unlucky to not be able to make enough to at least cover your bills, and not have to beg, borrow or steal off someone. That's right there, but we're going to keep looking for our mission. Another one up there, I think. And there. So this mine actually has quite a lot of gems by the look of it. More poop. 4 pieces of poop there. Well, no other way to go at the moment, so we'll keep going down. More poop. Looks like that'll be the way up. Yep. Another big way up there. This is where we get a branch. So do we go? Okay, we've been going. We're following the right. So we go right. We'll be rightist. Okay, so that is the dead end. Right was the dead end, so we'll be going left when we come out. This one's going up as well, so again this is probably going to be a dead end. So the yellow on the rocks is basically telling you where the climb points are. And I think this is actually taking us out. I hope so, because I'm lost if it's not. Or I will be lost if it's not. Yeah, so this is actually reversing the path we came. Actually, we will go up to the top and then work our way back down again. And we're up on the surface once more. So we're in the wrong armour, we've got the Pembroke on where we need the another gob. We'll pick up the poop. Is there poop to pick up? Well, it says red, but looks like we've got a lag. So we could have a 30k inbound. Otherwise, it's just continuing on. And there's a 30k. So there you have it. With a 30k, that's the end of our adventure for the day. So I will wish you all the best. I will catch you a bit later. I will try and get on. I do have to do familial duties and carer duties, and so I will come back when I can. But if it's the first time you have joined my stream, please like and subscribe. I'd love to grow my channel a little, I suppose. Leave a comment, let me know what you think, let me know how I can improve, ask questions you'd like me to answer in game, or things you'd like me to try, and we will look at doing them at some point. On that note, I've been Algared, that was Jusatoon and her Aurora, and I'm out of here. Take care, God bless, and be well.